let's talk about how you can escape your own created prison walls. Which prison walls do I mean? Well, the prison walls of your current state, meaning you are stuck because you try to solve problems, you try to get new life circumstances from the state, from the identity, from the version that you are right now, but it requires a new version of you. It requires an internal shift so that you can experience new external circumstances. So let's just dive right into this presentation. And this is one very easy and simple to understand illustration of a house. So what we see in this house are different rooms, and these rooms are a great metaphor for representing different states of consciousness, different identities, different realities, different version of you that you can simply make manifest, that you can experience, that you can shift into, which will come with new external circumstances. Because remember, life is a mirror, magnifying that what you are conscious of being, magnifying that what you hold to be true in your inner world, what you have accepted to be true about yourself, and simply the state you dwell in. Now, what we see in the simple illustration is that, first of all, okay, there are many rooms. There are actually infinite states. Not just that there's one state that you have to live by and you can never change that. That's not true. So you can select any state, and any state is in you, available in your infinite storehouse. So you can access all of these states. But now, let's talk about the first paradigm, which is the old paradigm, right? The old paradigm that most people live by is solving problems and being chronologically. And I want to make this a super practical video, meaning I'll give you examples, solutions, and also at the end some quotes from Neville Goddard. So this is a super important video. If you can get the message that I'm sharing with you in this video, the likelihood of you staying stuck should definitely decrease, and you should be able to move forward and manifest in a way better fashion. So, right, people say, for example, when it comes to money, right, I have to first pay off my debt and then I can be financially free. Or when it comes to health, they say, okay, I first need to get rid of the symptoms before I can, finally feel healthy. Or when it comes to love relationships, okay, I first have to date multiple people or get this one text message before I can, be in a relationship with this person. So people think, in order for me to get from the state that I'm in right now, the room that I'm in right now, to get to my desired state, represented here with green, I need to first go through steps. So I first need to go here, and then I need to solve this next problem, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then finally I can be in my desired state. So we always think chronologically. We always think, the human part of us, so to speak, thinks very slowly. So first this needs to happen, then this needs to happen. And by the way, you should accept that part of you, because again, the human self can't understand how, you can right now be in the wish fulfilled. The mind has no proof. There's no reason for your mind to believe certain things. So that's okay. Right? So, but that's, the question is that still the right approach to approach manifesting from? And my answer is definitely not. That's the old paradigm. We don't want to live by this paradigm. We don't want to live after the paradigm that first this needs to happen and then this needs to happen, and only when this and that happened, then my desired, end can happen. That will keep you very limited. Right? So people that say, first need to pay off debt and then I can be financially free, well, then they always just manifest in steps. They always manifest very slowly, and they don't recognize that actually, and this is what we're going to talk about in a second, they don't realize that this state of financially freedom, for example, is also already within them. They don't need to first go and do external steps before they can be in that state. No, they can right now start to awaken that state in them and make alive that reality in them. And same goes for any other desire that you have. So there's this one powerful quote from Albert Einstein that I wanted to include here, where he basically said, problems can never be solved with the same state that caused them. So we try, we try to solve a state, we try to solve a problem out of that state, but as long as we try to solve the problem, well, that indicates that we are still in that state. We just stay within our own limitations and try to solve that problem, yet we are still in the state which even requires that we need to solve a problem. So why don't we just go to that state where the problem no longer even exists? So we fully leave the problem behind by giving the solution our attention, right? By fully focusing our attention on the solution, on the wish fulfilled. And that's the new paradigm, right? The new paradigm is the shifting states, shifting realities paradigm, is that you don't need to first go through a very, tough and tight chronological, path of working things out, of coming up with a plan, of coming up with a solution, of figuring out and being like, oh, okay, maybe I could first do this and then this and then this and then yes, then I can finally have my wish fulfilled. No, why don't you just immediately dwell in the wish fulfilled of what it would be like to be in the end state? Meaning, instead of being like, I first have to do this, 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 and that before I can be financially free. No, I am now financially free. Let me now awaken that state, that mood in my awareness, in my inner reality, in my inner world, in my imagination, right? Let me now shine my light of awareness, right? Let me now shine my attention on that state and fill that new state with my complete being and see the world from that new state instead of first working out anyway. Or health, right? So first, working on symptoms and getting rid of this, solving this before you can fully be vital or healthy. No, I'm now completely healthy, right? But I mean, not saying it, but feeling in that state, really going from, you are right now externally, the world shows you that you don't have the money, you don't have this, you don't have this. That's what your world still shows you, but that doesn't hold you back to internally, right? In your awareness, in your inner world, already dwell on that new state without any evidence, without any proof. And the longer you, of course, remain internally in that new state, well, then you make that your new nature. You make that a new part of your identity. And same for love or the relationship that you want to manifest, right? Instead of, okay, first I need to meet people and then I need to get to know them and then I need to, or if it's a specific person, I first need to get a message from them and then I can manifest a relationship. No, why not just right now go to the end state where you are happily partnered, where you are in that relationship and awaken that. And don't get me wrong, once you awaken that, you create a vacuum, right? There's a vacuum that has been created because your inner man, right? Your inner you, internally, you already dwell in that state, but externally, the circumstances haven't caught up yet. They're still reflecting the old stuff. They're still, echoing the old state. And then there's like a vacuum because within you here, externally, you are still here, and life, reality, consciousness doesn't like vacuums, so it wants to close that and always molds around your external world and reshuffles that where you stand within right now. And that means that, yes, you will go through a bridge. So most likely, yes, you will be moved. You will take automatic actions to then maybe reach out, or they automatically reach out, or again, you then meet this person and they bring you to, join this course and getting this business idea. You'll always be on the bridge, right? The outer you will always be compelled to move. So according to where the inner you stands. So if the inner you is in, let's just say, business success, but there is no proof for that yet, then yes, you will be moved, you will do actions. So I'm not saying that, you just snip and everything changes. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you should focus on, instead of trying to solve a problem, right, which is very, a limited way of approaching things in life. Because again, if you try to solve a problem, you stay within your own prison walls, right? You stay within that room, so to speak, where the problem even exists, and you try to solve that and slowly work your way maybe out of that, which is the human way. But the reality master's way, so to speak, the conscious way, is to leave the problem as it is right now, not being delusional and run away from it. No, acknowledge it. It is right now appearing in your 3D world, which again is only a delayed mirror. So we let it be there, and within we align us immediately to the wish fulfilled state. So we put our imagination, we fill our imagination with scenes, and with that state, we fill our being with the state of already being who we want to be, already having what we want to have. And there are many different ways to do that I share on my channel, my program. But you get the point, right? Your true name is not I will be, and hopefully I can get. No, your name is I am. Everything is within awareness. Everything is within your I amness. Every state exists in that infinite storehouse, so to speak, in you. So right now, go straight to the end. That's the new paradigm. That's shifting states. And that is what I want to teach you in this video. So here's some key points, right? First of all, manifesting is not logical. I wish it would be. I mean, of course, we can have like a very logical approach to breaking it down and, explaining what to do and what to focus on. But like how manifestation unfolds, so to speak, is still not logical, right? For the mind, it doesn't make sense that right now you can assume the state of being financially stable, although your bank account shows you red numbers. So that's not really logical, right? Let the weak man say, I am strong. That's the statement of the Bible. And the weak man, the lonely man, the person that lives in poverty, they have no reason to say that, but they can still awaken that mood within them without having any external proof yet. So I am, right? Your awareness has always more power than the mind. So So don't rely on the mind which wants to solve a problem. No, rely on that, on your foundation, on your awareness that includes every state, and within yourself move, within yourself align to that end state immediately before working out a way. The ways will come automatically once you shift to the end state. So there is no reason or confirmation to assume a new state. And even if you start to assume a new state, your world might still show you the old reflections. Your world might still remain old for a while, but let the mirror be what the mirror is, right? We care about where we stand within. That is what actually matters. Because we have full control over our inner world. We have full control over where we dwell within, no matter what is right now appearing. And I'm not saying that this is always super easy. Of course, it can be tricky, especially when, overwhelming things happen. But still, that doesn't take away the truth that you can, regardless of circumstances, be in your desired internal state. So leave the logic behind, right? To some degree, of course, logic is needed and important. But when it comes to, consciously applying manifestation and going to the end, logic will keep you small. Logic will keep you of course, I need to first do this, and then this should happen. But we can internally encounter the wish fulfilled without having taken any steps yet. So leave logic behind and directly appropriate your desired state, right? I am now X, Y, and Z. Whatever you put after I am is what you are identified with. So I am your true self, your awareness, the blank slate you are, and everything else is simply, states that you add to your blank slates, or realities that you basically start to, like slides that you put in front of the projector light. So you're the projector light, and you put a new slide in front of that projector light, and then that's projected out, that's pushed out, that's objectified in your world. So you have to choose it, you have to select it, you have to awaken that new image, so to speak, that you want to put in front of the projector light in yourself, and select it and make that natural. And then your life can confirm who you are and which reality you selected in yourself. So don't focus on the next logical step, but on the end state. And I'm also sharing some quotes with you in a while that will really make this point even better. So as long as you try to solve problems, you are a prisoner in your own state. So the experience you want to have, right, your desired circumstances, again, that doesn't exist in your present state, so it can never be worked out from there. Meaning from your present state, which again comes with all the limitations, with maybe all the, limiting beliefs. I don't like this term so much, but with your current level of beliefs, your current level of thoughts, your current outlook on life, based on that room, you cannot work out a solution because you're working that out from that room that has a very limited outlook. But if you leave that room and directly go to the room in which your desire exists, in that reality, in that state, and you make that alive in you, well, the problem no longer exists, and all the thoughts and beliefs from the problem state no longer exist. So don't try to solve problems. Don't please understand that I don't mean this in a delusional way. Solving problems in your life, right? You should not stay with problems. Of course, we want to solve problems. But there are two ways for you to solve a problem. You can solve a problem out of the state you're in right now, out of the current room you're in right now, that will keep you very limited. Or you shift your awareness to this state, right? You align yourself internally to the version of you that already has solved the problem, right? To the end state where the problem no longer even exists. And then therefore automatically the problem will solve. But you did it now from a very, conscious manifester standpoint, instead of a limiting, lacking human chronologically trying to work out a way standpoint. So again, the key point is that the experience you want to make, the new desired circumstances you want to make, the solution doesn't exist in your present identity, in your present state. So it can never be worked out from there. Now, what would imply that you are in your desired state, right? Internally experience that here and now. Imagine it until you feel satisfied and natural about it. That's one main approach, right? Is that we imagine a scene, an act, an event, a congratulation, whatever, a simple event that implies to us that the problem is now solved, right? That we now experience the solution, that we now are living in the wish fulfilled, and we now have what we want to have. We now are who we want to be. So we fill up our inner world until it reaches this satisfaction, this conviction, this knowingness. So don't focus on solving problems or working out ways or means, right? So if you want health, you don't first need to ask yourself, okay, what can I take? What can I eat? What should I do No, you can right now acquire the consciousness of the healthy version of yourself, right? The outlook on life through the lens of the healthy version of yourself, right? Thinking from the end, thinking from what would it be like if I would be completely healthy. Imagine things that imply you are already healthy instead of working out a way for you to get there. If you want business success, you don't need to work right now out a business plan before you can become, successful in business. So you can right now anchor yourself in the state of being a successful business owner, right? And again, same for the relationship. You don't need to first manifest steps along the way and this and that. No, you can right now go to having that relationship, right? Being partnered and being in that relationship. So rather go straight to the end where these problems no longer even exist, right? Shift into your desired state. So the way to the wish fulfilled, and this is a key point, I please want you to understand this. The way to the wish fulfilled is to not let there be a way. I am it right now, right? You are already that what you want to be. The only reason why you don't see it is the refusal for you to believe that you are already it right now. You are right now, as we speak, your ideal self is buried within your potential, is buried within you. You are it already, but you have to awaken it, you have to accept it, you have to choose it, you have to select it, and you have to dwell in it and make it natural and certain to you. So the way to the wish fulfilled is to not work a way towards it, but is to not let there be a way, because we are right now dwelling in the wish fulfilled. That means there is no longer a way for us to take because we are it right now. And then whatever steps are needed along the way externally, we will take them automatically from the wish fulfilled state. Now, let's talk about the quotes from Neville to really drive these points home to you so that they really, that you really can anchor yourself in this new paradigm. And whenever you next encounter a problem, you remember, this video and you're like, okay, how can I get out of this? What can I do? No, let me go to the position. Let me align within to the state where the problem no longer even exists. So we are always dwelling in and thinking from a state of consciousness. Do you know where you dwell? Right? So we are always in states. We're always, seeing the world from certain standpoints. Money is hard to get. Money is easy to get. I have a lot of money. I have not so much money, right? Or I'm lonely. I'm not lonely. People treat me like this. People treat me like this. So we're always dwelling in states. We're always seeing the world through certain lenses and from a certain, standpoint. We always have different attitudes towards life, and they are not set in stone, right? So every state, regardless of what it is waiting for occupancy. And we talked about that. Every state is buried within your potential, is buried in your awareness, and you could right now it's just like your desired state is here and now. You are it already, but you have to now choose to see the world from that new perspective, from that new state, and dwell in it, right? Fill up that state with your beingness. So the great tragedy of the world is perpetual construction and deferred occupancy. Construct your dream state in your mind's eye, and regardless of what the world might tell you, say to yourself, it can be. So what did Neville mean by that? Just very quickly. Again, the biggest problem that I also see is that people flirt with their desired reality and with their desired state. And they, construct these states, and yes, I could be this, yes, I could have this, and this would be amazing. But they don't occupy it, right? They don't devote themselves and bathe themselves and drop fully in that reality. They don't burn all bridges, right? They still are, double-minded, and they're, go back and forth, but they don't fully go all in that new reality. So regardless of what the world right now tells you, you know that your desired state and desired reality exists. Otherwise, you could not even have the desire for it. So you may not have the educational background, be in the proper social circle, have the finances needed to fulfill your desire. But if you move in and occupy the state internally, in your imagination, in your inner world, thinking from its fulfillment, seeing the world from what it would be like to already have it, to already be it, the world will personify your thoughts or your state and objectify the state you have occupied. Right? And this is the summary of it. Right? No matter what your circumstances are right now, if you don't have the needs and the means needed that you think right now you would have, you could still go straight to the end. And again, maybe you can't even believe that this is right now possible for you. That's as well okay, because by you occupying the end state long enough, it will start to grow natural. The belief will come out of the inner experience that you have of the new state. So if you know how to move, you are free. That's the key point. If you know how to align yourself within to a new version of yourself, to shift within, then you're free. As long as you're still bound to the external world and take your cue from that, you're limited in your power and your potential. But if you know how to shift within, regardless of right now the circumstances of what they reflect back to you, then you're very free to become a conscious manifester, so to speak. So are you occupying your present state, or are you its inmate? If you are its occupant, you can move and be other than what you are right now. And that is an important thing, right? Most people have become inmates to their current state because they have lost themselves in their state, forgetting that they're right now dwelling in a state, but they can, zoom out of it, see, okay, it's just a state. These are just assumptions, identifications, beliefs, things that, I accepted as natural, and things that became natural for me that have become habitual, and they have got a momentum. That's why they always come again and again and again. But we can select a new state and start to make a new state natural. So if you are an inmate, that's not nice, because you're just bound to experience the contents of that state and the manifestations of that one state, that reality you're in right now. If you are an occupant, you can leave a state behind by occupying a new state consciously. And if that no longer is what you like, well, then you can occupy a new state and get new circumstances. So don't be an inmate. Right? That's when you try to solve problems and you just lost yourself in your current room, in your current state. See it for what it is, which is a state. And if you don't like it any longer, leave it by shifting in a new state, in your desired state. Then, dwelling in the new state of consciousness day after day, the world will pick up the atmosphere of your dream and fulfill it. Right? The world will reflect back and objectify what now you made alive in yourself. Do not ask anyone to help you. Just occupy your desired state. Right? Knowingly, not unknowingly as before. Now we want to, wake up to this dream of life, right? To this experience, and consciously from within to without generate our world, and no longer let our inner world be polluted by, stuff that's going on, but no, from within to without, move within and let the world catch up and reshuffle itself around your new inner state. Right? I love how Neville said this. So occupy your desired state now, knowingly, consciously, deliberately, decide it, choose it, pick it, and not unknowingly as before. We're not some little thing, but Christ, right? Neville always said that, Christ is in you, God is in you, that you are the operant power, right? That you have the free will to select any state. And so we can be anything we want to be if we occupy a state and they're not its inmate, right? Because if you forget, if you lose yourself in a state and you don't get out of it, you don't occupy a new state, you will just stay stuck and get the same circumstances, and things will feel limited, and you will get triggered by the same circumstances again and again and again, which are always and only indications for you to actually shift into a new state where you are no longer triggered. Because triggers mean that things are not as you want them to be. That's why they trigger you. So there's already a desire behind that. But if you're an inmate to a state, you will get the same triggers. You will try to solve the same problems. It will be a loop. So you have to let that room be alone for a while and fully dwell in your inner world in the new room, like I showed you with this house image. So burn your bridges completely and abandon yourself, right? Devote yourself, bathe yourself, fully drop in, fill your beingness. Fill that new version of yourself with your complete beingness, right? Abandon yourself to the person you want to be, to the reality you want to be in. Reason cannot understand. Your mind cannot understand. Therefore, your mind will say, oh, that cannot be right now. Can't believe it right now. But still, regardless of that, fill up your inner world with the new state. So remember, and that's the key right now, okay? Remember that everything in your life, every circumstance remains just as it is unless you move. Not move to a different city or to a different country, no, unless you move in your inner world, unless you move in your inner space of what you believe to be true, what you're aligned with, right? Others would call it your vibration, right? Your vibrational attitude, your inner state. So this room will stay as it is. Your current life circumstances will stay as they are until you move, until you shift within, until you align yourself to the wish fulfilled. But if you move the slightest, the room, although still the same, will be seen differently. Remember, your reactions to life, your outlook on life always comes from within. Your attitude and your reactions, your satisfaction always comes from where you stand within. The world is finished. Creation is finished. Yet seen so different when viewed from another state of consciousness. The same external circumstances can be viewed completely differently from two individuals that are in two different states. One person might be in a state of financial overflow. One person might be in a state of lacking finances. They have the same gas prices, the same electricity prices, the same a cost for an item. One person sees it from the state of, oh, that's cheap, that's not expensive. Another person sees it from the state of, oh, that's I can't afford this. Like, that's very out of my league. But it's just a matter of, where they dwell within that determines how they see the current circumstances of life. Now, move into a state and stay there until you feel just as comfortable in it as you do in your current state. You might not feel at home in in one place, but if you will remain there long enough, so if you really nurture a new state and this new reality long enough, it will begin to feel just like home. You will have made this your new habitual dwelling place, from which then you will automatically see the world. For you will become accustomed to it and not feel its strangeness anymore. So of course, any new state, any new reality, any new version of us we shift into first feels unnatural, first feels strange. But that strangeness decreases, that unnaturalness fades away if we dwell in it long enough, like Neville said. So choose this night, right now, at this moment when you watch this video, choose right now where you would like to live mentally in your inner world, right? In which state do you want to live? In which reality do you want to live? For this world is yours and every state within it. It's entirely up to you where you live, right? Of course, it's also entirely up to you where you live on the planet, but what Neville is referring to, it's entirely up to you where you live psychologically, mentally, where you live within consciousness, where you live in your inner world. Do you have an inner garden that you take care of and you only, assume states that are desirable? Or do you let your inner world get polluted and you live in undesirable states, you live in undesirable realities that are then reflected back? So I invite you to right now, get clear who you want to be, get clear what you want to manifest, select that, choose that, and then dwell internally in that new state, in that new reality, so that the mirror of life can reflect back and push out and objectify what you have activated and awakened in yourself. All right? So this is it for this video. Again, the purpose was for you to wake up and realize and be honest with yourself. If you catch yourself problem solving, that means you have become an inmate to your current state. You lost yourself in the current state, right? You lost yourself in the current room, forgetting that there are, other rooms, that there's also the room which is already where you already have the furniture you want to have. So instead of trying to redecorate and changing the furniture in the current room, which, is limited, no, leave that room by just boldly going in a new room as a metaphor for going in the new state, which no longer even has the problem alive. So no longer be a prisoner to your identity, to your state. Consciously now wake up, be self-aware of the states you're dwelling in, and then select the state you want to be in, right? I can help you with that. There are two main resources, my free masterclass and my program. Both links are in the video description. Check it out. If you really want, my personal help, weekly calls, you want one-on-one calls, you want a private community, you want a structured system, you want just this safe place of non-judgment, you don't want to be alone on this journey, and you want to really include and apply these principles in your life the right way, and you have desires right now that you want to shift into, and maybe you caught yourself, being stuck, solving problems, then if you want more than what I shared in this video and you just want to take it to the next level, I invite you to, check out my program. You can book a free call with me or my team where we will meet you and see if we're a good fit, right? This is not free. This is a paid program. You can start with my free masterclass, which is free. So you will find both links beneath the video. I really hope this helped you. Please let me know your questions, comment, feedback, video suggestions in the comments down below so that we can have more of these videos that help you and you see more videos that you want to see from me. So let me know which videos you wish and the feedback. I speak to you in the next one. Bye, guys. And remember, really let this sink in. I shared a lot with you in this video. This was long. Maybe rewatch it. But the goal is that we don't try to, be chronologically and go in steps. Right? That's the human limited way. It does work, but it's very slow. It's very limited. And you can't really understand all the options and all the ways that could be created if you let your true self just create all the ways. If you let all the solution come from the end state, right? If you try to work out the solution from the current state, well, that's limited. That does not carry the solution in it. The wish fulfilled, where you are who you want to be, where you have what you want to have, well, that's your solution. So leave everything and basically within align yourself to that state, right? Imagine things that imply you're already here. Basically anchor yourself in that state. So it's already within you, and either you use I remember when, or you imagine a scene that implies you here, you hear congratulations, just anything that really anchors you in that state, that makes that, feeling of the wish fulfilled alive in you is perfect. I share all the ways, all the, ways to maneuver to the wish fulfilled as well in my program. Also, people have the tendency to sometimes fall out of it. So they try to, occupy the end state, but then they fall back, they fall out of it, they waver. So that's why I say, in this atmosphere of my program, we can go way more in detail than I go in these videos. That just as a side fact. But I think already, of course, with this video, you can do that, of course. So old paradigm, solving problems, slow, chronologic, step by step, working out a way. First this needs to happen, then this, and then I can have my wish fulfilled. New paradigm, directly going to the end state and making that alive in you, right? No longer being an inmate to the room, to the state you're in right now, but now consciously selecting whatever state you want to, whatever reality you want to awaken you and then see manifested in your world. All right, so that's it. Speak to you in the next one. Bye, guys.